This is the opening screen for the program. It shows you appointments and reminders that you have put into the system, and we'll come back to this form later to show you how we created this. For the moment, I'm just going to click Stop Reminding Me. This is your main form and is also your control panel from where everything is accessed. Let's go to My Setup to enter our own company information. You can see that I've entered a fictitious company here, and it's these details that will form the headings for invoices, purchase orders, credit notes and letters. From this form you can also set your categories, and these represent titles of all the different types of contacts that we will put onto our system. You can also from here decide for letters only. If you want to create a letter that fits onto your pre-printed letterheads, then these details here move the margins around so that you can place the print of your letter on your own letterhead. You also have your own default terms of credit for invoice, and to the right here we have the startup numbers for each of the different documents that the system creates. We can also add or change usernames if you have a version that uses a multi-user environment. Okay, so these boxes down here on the left hand side are where you put your customer, supplier or contact details. You can see Mr. or Mrs, name, surname, job title, company, etc, etc. To save you watching me fill these in, let's go to a record that we already have. Now we can find records by someone's Christian name, someone's surname, the company that they work for, their address, or at least the first line of their address, the postcode, telephone number or email. We know we're looking for the company, so let's click company, and I'll select Kennedy Fitzgerald. If I want to enter a note about this particular customer, just been on holiday to Spain, you can see that when I press enter, the date and exact time that I made this note appears in the date and time field. Now let's imagine that I've just tried to call Mr. Vincent and I've been told that he's away from his desk and to try back in 30 minutes. All I have to do to make a note to call him back is click on 30 minutes. Obviously that could also have been 1 hour, 4 hours, 1 day, 14 days, 2 months, 11 months, or I can put a specific date in here by double clicking here and bringing up the calendar. From here I can pick any date I want. Now I've called back Mr. Vincent and he wants us to quote him for a flat screen, a computer, and as we are a multi-function organisation, a fitted bathroom suite. So I'll cancel that recontact and I'll go to sales. And as you can see here, this is the last invoice that we sent to Mr. Vincent. So to create a new invoice or a new quotation, we click on New Document. If the delivery address is the same as the customer's address, we just click on Delivery as above. And as I said, Mr. Vincent wants a quote for a desktop computer, a 19-inch computer screen and a bathroom suite. All I do now is click a quotation and there it is. You can see where our details that we put in earlier come up on the letter heading. Now as I've just sent Mr. Vincent a quotation, I'm going to put down that I want to call him again in 3 days' time. Now let's imagine it's 3 days later. I recontact Mr. Vincent and he tells me that he wants us to proceed with that order. That's all I have to do. And a few days after that we're ready to deliver. Delivery note. And after delivery we can invoice. Let's close that. Now if we'd wanted to, we could have changed our payment terms here. We could have made it 14 days or a month following the month of invoice, but we'll stick with 30 days. And to move back and forwards between all the invoices and documents that we've created, we just click on the record selectors, and basically that moves us back in history. The list that you saw here is made here, and you can add as many items to this list as you wish. If you want to look at reports, you can see all the sales for this period, or this month, or last month, this week, last week, today, yesterday. This is sales. You can also look at quotations. You can also look at orders, and back to sales. You can also print any of these documents. Okay, we'll close that. And there's two ways of sending a statement to a particular customer. Obviously this customer, we can either click statement here, or we can click statement there. Close that. To delete an item, I can click on the delete button and put it back. Or I could delete the entire document by highlighting this button and pressing delete. It's a very similar system with credit notes. There's our last credit note to Mr. Vincent. New document, delivery as above, credit, and we'll say he's changed his mind. He doesn't want the 19-inch flat screen anymore, so we'll send out a collection note to go and collect it. And we'll send a credit note to credit it. And in a very similar system, we can also create a payment. There's the last payment or first payment received from Mr. Vincent. Let's say Mr. Vincent has sent us another payment. Payment 2, and it's for £1,020. If I want to allocate that payment immediately, I can simply look for the payment, and I can see the invoice. I can also now just only show outstanding amounts and go back to the original form. If we have a look at the debtors form, this lists all the money owed to us in this particular period. If I just want to know what was owing from last month, not much. This month, this week. And if I receive payments, then I can naturally click them to say that they're paid for. We'll close that. Now let's have a look at the financial status of this particular client. We can see that we have a 4-month history with this client. We've invoiced 3 items, total value of 2,862. The average days overdue is 11 days. Current status is total due is 3,100. Credit available is just under 1,000. There's an invoice here overdue, and that's overdue by 31 days. So we're going to send Mr. Vincent a letter. So we click on letters. We're going to choose one of our standard letters, which is a first reminder. Print it. And then we are standard letter ready to go to Mr. Vincent. Now let's assume that, like most customers, he completely ignores that. We can send him a second reminder. We don't want to overwrite the existing letter, we want to produce a new one. And there's his second letter. Kindly pay within the next 7 days. And let's assume again that he's ignored that. And we'll go for the third reminder. And now we're threatening legal action. Now you may want to in the future send out purchase orders. We're going to purchase something from Dudley Marsh. Here's our last order with them. New order, delivery to us. And we've got a previously ordered list here. So this lists everything that we've ever purchased from this particular supplier. If I select 2 of those items, add the selection, print the order. Now it is done. We'll close that. Let's go back to Mr. Vincent and I'll find him by his surname. And let's book an appointment to go and see Mr. Vincent. Double click in the light blue box. We'll say it's for tomorrow, and we'll say it's for 3 p.m. and we'll say it's at this address, so address as above. Now you will remember the form that opens when you first start the program. That's accessed by Remind Me. And here's our appointment for tomorrow with Mr. Vincent. At the moment I have this set to show me all appointments for all users. I'm going to say I want to be reminded in 3 hours time, and then I can close. As I've booked appointments, I can also have a look at them in my diary. I want to see what appointments I have for next month, and these are all my appointments for next month, and I can print that, fold it in half and pop that into my briefcase. You can also have a diary for today, tomorrow, this week, next week, this month, etc. You can include other people's on your particular diary if you wish, so you know where other people are, and you can preview the diary. We'll close that. We can also keep a close tab on how we are contacting customers and customer relationship management, and I'm going to say that I've recontacted Mr. about product D. I'll say actually we've contacted him about product B, and at the moment the interest on that is low, but call again. Okay, so that automatically goes on to our activity list, and you can see this list opens with what activity there was last week. At the moment I'm looking at all of my activity, but I can also look at everybody else's. You can see here Graham, Jane, and I can filter those by unchecking the check all, and I can just look at Jane's, I can just look at Graham's, some for me last month, all of them, and then I can filter all of these contacts to customers by how many people have we contacted about product A, how many have we contacted about product B or service C. We can also check how many high interest contacts we have and how many actually placed an order, and then again I can do that for all of my telesales people. To cancel a filter, just remove them and we're back to where we started. Close that. And finally, if we decide we want to send a brochure or a leaflet out to all of our contacts, this is the mail merge form, and again, as you'd expect with this program, it's a push button system. Clear any previous list. We're not going to create a new letter, we're going to use an existing one. Send our brochure. Choose a signatory because it might not be from the managing director. We'll choose all categories. We'll select all of the contacts. We'll take out a couple that we're not interested in. Close that. Click on Mail Merge. And the last one, 31 there, created in seconds. We'll close that and close the form, and we're back to where we started. Thank you very much for watching.